Good day everyone, and welcome to a LEGO Star Wars MOC review. Today we're going to be doing a review of my Emperor Palpatine Surgical Reconstruction Center, or as it is called, the Empal Surecon. It is amongst the tallest buildings of all of Coruscant, and this particular MOC is just shy of 5 feet tall. It was a labor of love that took me about 4 weeks, and it appears for about 13 seconds of screen time towards the end of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. As you can see, I completely outfitted it, so on 360 degrees it is completely and totally identical. I did everything I could to make sure that all of the details were attended to the best of my abilities, and with that we'll just start off at the bottom and go all the way up. As you can see down here, we have got the massive sort of gray, light gray pillars, and then we've got sort of like the black parts going up. If you watch the scene, then you'll know what I was going for with this. As you can see that we've got sort of these slimmer panels, which are just on sort of a diagonal angle right there, whereas the fatter panels with the light gray are, you know, just regular sort of directions. As you can see, as you move up the trunk, if you will, we've got these little balconies with these little blue lights on them, which is something that we see in the film for like a split second. There's like these tiny little outcroppings with these little lights on it. I don't know what those little balconies do in universe, but they sure as shit are there. Then moving up, we've got the first set of 4 petals right here. As you can see, these petals, I don't know what real, what they do exactly. However, they make the thing quite pretty. As you can see, it's just a nice sort of large, lighter gray panel with sort of some darker gray sort of details on there. We got a dark gray sort of interior to the petal, and then we've got black on the side right there. Why I feel the need to show you like this instead of just being in this one over here, because it's all identical, I do not know. At the end, we've got the little tip, and it's got just the little sort of tubes on the sides right there, which is what it has in the film. Moving right up, as you can see, before we get to the sort of landing platforms, we got these sorts of panels, these tilted panels with like tubes hanging down and stuff. Just something from the movie. Then we've got the landing platforms. As you can see, big, long, 4 landing platforms. I would say like the next layer of petals, as it were. Unfortunately, I did my best to reinforce it with like Technics and whatnot under here, but they cannot support ships. I've tried. It can support like the Mystery Machine, but nothing quite as heavy as Emperor Palpatine's shuttle, unfortunately. Regardless, on the bottom, we've got these little fins on the bottom of each of these 4 landing pad pedals. And yeah, just, again, little details that I noticed from the movie. Right on top of the platform, as you can see right here, we got these little sort of black, sort of more mechanical-looking bits. Once again, see the film. We've got these sort of little rows of lights leading up to the front doors with that sort of catwalk, which leads right up right there. I know that in this particular scene, there's at least 12, 14, maybe even 16 shock troopers. However, these shock troopers are like 30 bucks a pop, and I only have the 2, so what are you gonna do? As you can see there, we've just got sort of more like a brick-built sort of layer as we're moving up, and then we've got, once again, sort of some smaller panels as we like move into this little area with the door right there. There's nothing in there in particular, it's just, once again, to, you know, aesthetically match what we see in the film. Then, as you can see, we've got more sort of petals. These ones have the little antennas on the end. They've got sort of some angling right there, and then we've got like the dark gray, which sort of just sort of fades down, as you can see, and that leads into the more sort of bulbous top of this thing. As you can see, I just sort of completed that very similarly to how I did the bottom, but this time I attributed just a little bit more of an angle to it so as to create the sort of, you know, rounded sort of upward facing sort of thing. Just sort of some some simpler details on there. And then as you can see, as we move all the way up, we have got sort of the windowed upper deck. We've got the antennas right here, more antennas, and then we've got this whole sort of array at the top, which even though this whole upper array is one of the most briefly seen elements of the Surecon, I did my best to recreate it as accurately as possible, with the tallest spire sort of being right in the middle, and then sort of like the peripheral spires and whatnot being all around. I thought it would be fun to add some little ball jointed like spires just sort of coming up on either side, just to sort of to be crass, give this large shaft some sort of like testicles down here. Then we've got just a little bit of a Republic symbol right there, just sort of on the bottom of that one, just to indicate that this is in fact a Republic sort of structure. And I'm just going to put the camera down for a split second to take the top off of this bad boy. Just have to very gingerly lift it just like that, and Mazel Tov. Show you the interior. There's not too much to the interior, but it's still worth taking a gander at. As you can see, we've actually got the Darth Vader sort of reconstruction going on in here. As you can see, we've just got the FX medical droid, we've got the surgical assistant right there, we've got the 2-1B sort of attending to him. We got Palpatine over here looking like a massive asshole, like grinning at Anakin and as he's getting the surgery. Got a little panel right there, just got some crates and whatnot around. I've got the sort of like 6 white, darn it, the bottom of the FX stuck to it. Come on. There we go. Got like the 6 panels to create like the Imperial symbol that you're supposed to see when you look at this thing from that angle. And yeah, so just sort of a simple interior. I know that there aren't windows in the scene when Anakin's actually getting the transformation, but I wanted to give this thing just a little bit of an interior that was actually significant to the scene. And I thought that this, you know, would do the trick, as it were. Got a little hovering droid right there, because there's a few of those in the scene which are just kind of ominously watching Anakin just getting sort of reborn. And also, just going to put the FX over here. Anakin's table, of course, can flip up like so, quite simply, so you can have the no scene and all that dramatic hullabaloo. Yeah, just going to put the top back on now. So yeah, this was a labor of love. This is what I've been working on during this horrendous quarantine. This is what has been keeping me busy, because what else can one do in such turbulent times other than create the magnum opus that they've been wanting to put together for a long, long time. What else am I supposed to do with this quarantine? My homework? Get the hell out of here! So yeah, that's my MOC. In recent times, I think I've made some pretty contrasting MOCs. You got Horseshoe Overlook, a humble 1899 bandit camp, and the Empal Surecon, one of the tallest buildings on Coruscant circa 19 BBY. Yeah, that's really all I've got to say about it. Catch you jokers on the flip.